Sometimes the most interesting discoveries hide just out of sight. To uncover the secrets and find out what is lurking, we have to dig, crawl, and climb to stumble across these groundbreaking revelations. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be taking a look at 3 discoveries that were made when we peered under surface level. Mystery objects. In May 2014, multiple large objects fell from space and landed in China. These mystery objects landed in the city of Qiqihar in the northeastern province of Heilongjiang. Fortunately, no one was hurt by the pieces. This province borders with Russia's Far East, so it was quickly assumed by experts to be space debris from a Russian rocket or satellite. Coincidentally, Russia had just unsuccessfully launched a satellite from the Baikonur Space Center in Kazakhstan around the same day. The communications satellite was meant to connect with their other satellites and deliver internet to the more remote Russian regions that lack fast communication methods. However, just 9 minutes after launch, the rocket's control engine failed, and it quickly burned in the upper atmosphere. It seems that not all of the rocket and satellite were destroyed though. While most of it burned, some debris fell and made its way into China. The China National Space Administration conducted an analysis on the mystery objects and concluded that they had indeed come from Russia's failed satellite. This launch failure was quite the embarrassment for the Russian government. Less than 50 years ago, they were considered leaders in the space industry. They launched the first artificial satellite, Sputnik, at a time when no one was expecting it, and shocked the world. Their accomplishments spurred the technological and cultural developments of the space age. They were able to do more at that time with less technology than we have now. To make it even worse for them, the satellite cost Russia €150 million to build. Sonar equipment revealed that there was a submerged plane at the bottom of Lake Norman in North Carolina. On a regular day in North Carolina upon the shores of Lake Norman in 2013, a group of firefighters set out for what they thought would be a routine training exercise. However, nearly 100 feet down, they discovered a small sunken plane that was submerged in the deepest part of the lake. They were able to use a technology called side sonar imaging, which allowed them to create an image of large areas across the lake floor. Used as part of a procedure to identify safe diving areas, the discovery of the plane changed the entire scope of the training exercise. The Charlotte Fire Department's dive team quickly jumped into action, swimming down into the man-made lake to learn more about the fallen aircraft. What they found was the single-engine aircraft standing on its nose about 90 feet below. Even though the doors were tightly shut, they found no evidence of any body remains or victims. Yet, questions still lingered. Who was the owner of the plane? When did it crash? And how did it happen? To search for answers, the Federal Aviation Administration took over, poring over aircraft ownership records. While a few clues emerged, the case of the sunken plane remained a mystery. Officials believed that the plane crashed around 30 years ago, but a preliminary search through the archives found no reports of any plane crashes in Lake Norman. One theory that emerged was that it might have been an amphibious plane that must have floated away from a dock and sank, unnoticed for so many years, but no leads came from it. However, after news broke out, phone calls came in from prospective owners. A woman named Barbara Anderson believed that the plane was hers. She recalled the moment more than 30 years ago when flight instructors were using it for training. When they landed upon the water, they forgot to put the gear up to lock the plane on the surface, and it sank. After thousands of dollars to find the plane again, it was never found. Another lead came in too, this time from a man named Carol Lineberger, who claimed that the plane's owner was his dad, a licensed pilot named John Gibson. He remembered flying around in the plane with his dad as a kid until 2 weeks later when his dad told him that it sank. Others also believed that the plane belonged to John Gibson, the man credited with starting the Lake Norman Air Park, who has since passed away. Since the discovery of the plane in 2013, little news has emerged about the final identification of the plane. Last updated on July 9, 2020, the FAA finally confirmed that the plane had been at the bottom of Lake Norman since the summer of 1974. Among the records, it was found that the aircraft was a Lake LA-4 amphibian whose owner, although not named, was a North Carolina resident that was deceased. As of now, the plane still has not been lifted from the waters. As time goes on, the case of the mysterious sunken plane remains shrouded in mystery. Melting glaciers reveal undiscovered island near Antarctica. Antarctica is not a place that generally comes to mind when thinking of discovering new landscapes, but the truth is that the large glacial ice sheets actually effectively conceal the more permanent landmasses that lie unseen below. As the glaciers melt and the floating shelf of ice dissipates, researchers going on expeditions through the Antarctic are able to discover new landforms and islands that have been previously hidden below the ice. This was the case with Sif Island, which was uncovered as the Thwaites Glacier, which is known as the Doomsday Glacier because it is one of the fastest retreating Antarctic glaciers melted and revealed underlying rock. Now the newly uncovered landmass rises above sea level and is made of granite, although it is covered almost entirely by the remnants of the ice shelf layer. Sif Island, named for a Norse goddess of the earth, was discovered on February 26, 2020 by researchers with the International Thwaites Glacier Offshore Research Project. When 4 researchers were moving through the Antarctic waters near Pine Island Glacier, they noticed rock showing through the ice and were able to land and confirm that the formation was indeed an island. The rocky outcropping makes for a small island consisting only of 350 meters of volcanic granite, covered almost entirely by a retreating ice shelf and a few seals. The researchers who discovered and are studying the island originally believed that the ice covering the island was from an iceberg that had lodged itself on the rocks and finally melted enough that the granite itself could be seen. But further study led them to hypothesize that the ice was actually once a part of the Pine Island Glacier ice shelf, which is a field of floating ice that covers part of the ocean where it extends from the edge of the glacier. The Pine Island Glacier and the Thwaites Glacier, whose retreating form revealed Sif Island, are the 2 largest glaciers on the Antarctic Peninsula, and are at the center of one of the fastest warming areas of the planet. The massive bodies of ice are melting and shrinking at a rate faster than new ice can form, greatly diminishing the coastline of the continent and allowing underlying granite islands such as Sif Island to be uncovered. Sif Island is the only rock formation of its kind for 65 kilometers in any direction, although with the increasingly prevalent glacial melts caused as a direct result of global warming, more of its kind are sure to emerge. Once the island was located, researchers used archived satellite images to track the emergence of the rock from the ice and predict the topographical changes that can be expected with the continuing warming temperatures. Study of Sif Island will also help researchers to study in real time the process of glacial rebound, where a continent underneath a melting glacier rises higher than it was as a result of decreased pressure on the rocks, essentially rebounding from the ice. It is unclear whether this rebound causes further cracking and shrinking of the ice shelf, so scientists are closely monitoring the progress of emerging Sif Island. Although the island will no doubt become an important resource for scientists studying climate change, the fact that it emerged at all is deeply concerning as it speaks to the depth that global warming has impacted Antarctica.